What's up, everybody? How's it going? How's everybody doing? All the usual intro stuff that I like to do, blah, 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 blah. So, you found it. So I finally decided to actually sit down and do a podcast for the first time, or at least the closest thing I can get to a podcast, I guess you could say. I've been meaning to do this for quite some time, but I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but times have gotten a little bit tough in the past few months. That's just kind of the way it is for pretty much everybody. Not a lot I can do about that, but I mean, you know. But I'm here, and if there's anything I've learned about myself or really just humanity in general, is that sometimes you just need to just get your foot in the door and get started, and then as you go along, you can recalibrate and restring things and do whatever you need to do to make it better. So this is me just sticking my foot in the door forcibly. And so I guess this is pretty much the same setup essentially that I do for all my like movie review stuff. I got the green screen back here. I'm not going to bother putting a graphic back there because I don't really care to wait for the render time, to be honest with you. Plus, this is more so for audio listeners, and I'm going to eventually I might put this on other audio platforms like iTunes and stuff like that, but as of right now, again, I just wanted to get my foot in the door, so I'm just getting started, and the only way I really know how to do that is to just read some of the movie news that's going on, and then maybe I can just riff on that, and I'm just going to basically talk for 20 minutes, because I feel like that's not a bad, as far as podcasts go, that's not a bad start time, I feel like, because I don't know what the hell this podcast is going to eventually become, so I figured a small taste at first, and if you like, you know, I think I'm going to talk for about 15, maybe 20 minutes, and if it goes well, I'll do the same thing. And by the way, you're going to see me do a lot of this, particularly a lot, because I made the mistake of putting my monitor like kind of behind where the camera is. So if you see me do this, it's because I'm being stupid and I haven't accustomed. I need to put like a little sticky note like right here above the camera that says, "Look here, dumbass." But I don't have any sticky notes on me, so that's going to have to wait. Yeah, I've never done this before, so if there's a few lulls of silence, my bad. I'm gonna try not to edit this as much. I might censor it and use my usual like 8-bit sound effect sensor to like bleep out the curse words, because I don't know how I'm gonna go with like monetization and stuff like that as far as this video goes. So I think I might censor it this time, but I might not do it in future episodes. In future episodes, I also might not even bother doing a video portion. I might just make an audio file and put it up on YouTube, and then just put like a new graphic, maybe specifically for the podcast. I don't know how much it matters. If you guys want to, by the way, chime in as much as you freaking want, guys. If you have anything that you want to like recommend or ideas for me, or tips for putting stuff on Twitch, I'm thinking about getting into that. Me and one of my roommates are also thinking about doing that. But yeah, I'm up for tips and suggestions. I'm gonna try to put time codes in the description or like a pinned comment or something. I'm assuming only like 30 of you are actually gonna sit through this entire thing, which is fine. You got to start somewhere. Like I said, just getting the foot in the door. So I'm gonna just read some movie news topics, and then maybe I'll stick with one and talk about it for 10 minutes, or I'll just skip to the next thing. And I mean, I can already tell you, there's some stuff here. I'm on cinemablend.com, and I want to talk about Jennifer Lawrence because that's just one picture that's popping up. Apparently, somebody wrote an article about why Jennifer Lawrence and company should make another Hunger Games sequel, but not until after the prequel gets made. And I don't know if you guys knew that, but they're trying to make a Hunger Games prequel of some kind. It's set like 25 or 50 years before it's one of the quarter quells or something, I believe, is what's happening. And now this person is saying that Jennifer Lawrence should make another one. No, I don't want that. I don't know if you guys saw all of them, and I'm also going to drink a lot of water, which I'm sure you guys aren't used to. Normally, if you're new to my channel in general, there's a lot of jump cuts in the videos that I make because I slur my words or I just say dumb shit all the time. It's just who I am. And I'm also very vulgar, so sometimes I try and tone that down a little bit. But anyway, as I said, first time, gonna be a little rocky. It's just par for the course. But anyway, as far as another Hunger Games movie, I wouldn't mind, but I've soured very much on Jennifer Lawrence in the past few years because And it's nothing she's done personally, because personally she's actually like a really fun, quirky, funny person. And I know a lot of people like her because they're like, oh, she's so relatable. And in my head, I'm like, you do realize this broad could ask $20 million to star in a movie. Not relatable in any way, shape, or form, okay? Her personality is relatable, and she's kind of a cool chick to talk to, it seems like. But besides that, she's not relatable. Just don't kid yourself, guys. And I've soured on her because essentially, people think she's a really, really, really awesome actress. And I would push back on that and say, no, she's a mediocre actress at best. And the reason why I say that is for the sake of consistency. Because she may be an Academy Award nominee and winner, but at the same time, she is God sweet, what the hell is going on, awful in half of the X-Men movies that she was in. And and say what you want about like Anthony Hopkins or Bruce Willis. Well, Bruce Willis doesn't care anymore, but let's use Anthony Hopkins. Like, even if Anthony Hopkins is in like some crappy straight-to-DVD movie, at least he tries. He gives 110% in his acting performance, or at least he makes it look like he's trying to give 110%. And Nicolas Cage, too. For all the straight-to-DVD movies that Nicolas Cage has been doing, he actually pretends like he gives a shit. And that's more than I can say about Jennifer Lawrence, because you could tell that the makeup was like, the Mystique makeup had less and less detail to it as the movies went on. So they put that in her contract, because she was just like, man, but do I really have to sit in the chair for 8 hours? Yes, it's called you're getting paid tens of millions of dollars. Like, yeah, sit your ass down in the makeup chair for a while. See? Sorry, that really annoys me when like actors get like all self-aggrandizing, or whatever the term is. They just like get so up their own asses about things. It's like, dude, you're getting paid millions of dollars to have an experience that most of us would do kind of reprehensible things to do. Obviously, if you followed any of the movements in the past few years, because people did do that. But the point is, like, it's a job. Okay, it's not a vacation. It's a job, and I don't think she treated it like a job. And I would not view her as a very good employee, personally. But that's just me. I'm sure she's a very sweet person. She seems very nice, but I can't say I admire her work as an actress, because it's hit or miss. It just depends on the movie that she's in. In the first couple Hunger Games movies, she slayed everything. And I thought the third one, she also did a very good job. The fourth movie just wasn't really all that great. It just felt kind of thrown together for some reason. I don't know why. But the first Hunger Games movie was solid. The second one was awesome. The third one, I have this really... I feel like a lot of people didn't really think that was a great movie, because they felt the same way about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. And that it was just like the gathering storm, like nothing actually happened. And I disagree, because I love the Deathly Hallows Part 1. It's actually my favorite Harry Potter movie. I probably lost a couple subscribers because I said that, but that's fine. But I actually liked Mockingjay Part 1. The second one, just not great. So I'm really not too psyched about that. I'd be curious to see the prequel, just because like the world is interesting. But other than that, like, eh. So let's see, what other cool stuff is on here? Ben Affleck says stuff. Yeah. That's about the size of what I just said. Let's see. Excellent news. Bill and Ted Face the Music has already dropped its cost to rent. That's cool. That's all right. That's cool. That movie felt like more of a passion project for Keanu than anything, but I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad the movie came out. My roommate saw it and he said it was very, very good for what it was. It's not like, it's not like an Academy Award. You can't hold a candle from this to like Inception. You know what I mean? It's not like Academy Award level awesome, but he said it was good, so that's cool. And let's see, what other cool news is in there? Oh, let's talk about the Dune trailer for a second. I know I'm like 2 or 3 weeks behind on it. I am so unbelievably excited for that movie, and it's a shame because its date is probably going to move, and that bums me out to no end, because most of the movies that I've been excited to see at a very, very troubling time in my life. I'm pretty depressed. I don't know. I've said as much in the comments section in some of my movie reviews, but I'm just not doing that great. And this is like pre-COVID. I mean, I'm just not in a very happy place. I'm sure I'll bounce out of it eventually, because that's just life. We're human beings. We learn to adapt, and we overcome things, and we get better at certain things, and we deal with bad situations as best as we can, and it helps you. Well, it doesn't help you, but it causes you to get creative. So that's also a thing. I'm certain I'm gonna get out of this phase of my life eventually, but it just kind of sucks ass right now, and it sucks even harder because then this whole pandemic happened, and then movie theaters closed, and then some movie theaters reopened, and then there's drive-in theaters, but not where I live, because now I live in California, in the LA area, in the Los Angeles area, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's because our governor is being a jackass, or maybe it's not. I haven't followed it very much. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I used to be really into politics when I was younger, but not so much anymore. But I haven't checked in a few days because I've been kind of busy, but it seems like most theaters aren't open, and I haven't gotten a chance to see Tenet yet, which is a real bummer because Chris Nolan is probably, I don't know about all time, but definitely right now, he's like easily top 2 or 3 directors that I'm like really excited about seeing their next project. And the movie's got lukewarm reviews, but that doesn't really bug me because I thought Interstellar was damn near a masterpiece. I love that movie. I don't care what anybody says. Like, yeah, you can have a problem with like, you know, certain elements of the plot and how the movie ended, but like, I don't care. It all worked for me for some reason. Yeah, let's talk about movies that moved, actually, now that I think about it. So Tenet, I haven't gotten a chance to see. I still really want to see it. I don't know if I'm going to make the trek because I can go see it at a theater, but I have to drive like a far ways, but I don't know if I have the money to be able to do that. Kind of broke at the moment, which is another reason why I'm doing the podcast, because maybe this will help the monetization for the channel. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But let's see. Tenet. Oh, I was a little bit bummed out when Fast and Furious 9 moved because for some reason in my old age, I've become very, very into the Fast and Furious movies. I remember watching the first one when I was very young. I was like, I don't even know if I was even in middle school at that point. It was a long time ago, but I remember the first one. I remember being like, oh, the movie's awesome. Like there's like hot chicks and fast cars and all that other blah, blah, blah. Cause like that's how stupid you are when you're 10 years old. And and then I saw the second one. I'm like, okay, that was fun. And then shortly after that, I think I saw Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and that's when I realized that movies could be bad. That was a very pivotal moment in my life because that movie is awful. Star Wars is the greatest thing in the world to me, but that movie is god awful. I despise that movie. The prequels aren't great in general, but that movie is just straight up bad. The other ones, I can sit through the other ones, but Attack of the Clones is like, there's a lot of skippable moments in that movie. It's just, it's painful to watch. But yeah, Fast and Furious 9 moved. I think A Quiet Place 2 also moved, which I was apprehensive about, but I was also very, very curious because I loved the first one. I think my review's up if you want to go search for it, but I loved the first Quiet Place. I thought it was, I'm trying to think of the words. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it was predictable in a slightly less predictable fashion than you would imagine. And it was much more craftily made than I would have expected because John Krasinski's, the first movie that he directed was not good. I think it was called The Haulers. It was like a family comedy thing. And it was fine. But then he made this movie, and this movie is almost a 10 out of 10. So that was like the biggest surprise. And so I heard they were making a second one. I'm like, didn't we say all that we needed to with the first one? Like the first one had like, also I apologize. I say like a bajillion times. I apologize, guys. But the first one had a great arc for a father and specifically the daughter. Their relationship was kind of highlighted, I guess. And I thought that was great. That movie was magnificent. And Emily Blunt was great, of course, because Emily Blunt, what do you expect? But I still wanted to see it, and I think that moved. I don't know if it's still coming out. I think it moved to September, and then it moved to something else. I'm not totally sure. Again, I don't have all the facts in front of me. This is a very poorly put together podcast. Again, guys, my bad. just trying to get it started though. Let's see what else moved. Dune. I almost talked about that. Dune is probably going to end up moving. It's really a bummer. I want to see that movie so bad. The original one, I have this weird kind of fixation on it because it's not a good movie, but it's really interesting to look at because the original Dune from I think 1982 or 1984, if memory serves, if I remember correctly, it doesn't matter. But the movie is visually very, very stunning. at the very, very least. You can say whatever you want about the movie. The acting is a little goofy, and the third act is just whacked out beyond belief and makes zero sense. But the rest of that movie, the concept design and all that other stuff, there's a lot of really, visually, it's a very, very cool movie, and I respect it a lot, even though David Lynch, the director, tried to like pretend like he had nothing to do with it afterwards, which I thought was funny. But the new one, I can't tell you how excited I've been for such a long time. Like, it's almost as big of an upset as if they were putting out a Star Wars movie and I wouldn't be able to see it. It's almost as upsetting for some reason. And I think it's probably because Denis Villeneuve is directing it. And if you don't know who that is, he directed Prisoners, Enemy, Blade Runner 2049, Sicario, Arrival, which is a perfect film, basically. I'm a big fan of him also. Denis Villeneuve is also in my top 3 of directors working today that I just cannot wait for whatever the hell they're doing next. I cannot wait. And I think if I had to pick the third one, Jordan Peele is definitely up there. I don't know. I'd have to think about that a little bit. Definitely. So Chris Nolan and Denis Villeneuve are definitely like top 2 for sure. And then, you know what? I'm just gonna say it right now. Off the cuff. This whole podcast is off the cuff, so I might as well stick it. It's just Nolan, Villeneuve, and Jordan Peele. Interested in anything that those 3 guys have to do. But Dune looks great. It's got the best cast ever. It's got Jason Momoa, it's got Oscar Isaacs, it's got Timothée Chalamet, who I haven't seen a movie with him in it, but everybody seems to love him, and I think he's got Academy Award nominations, I think. So he's, heavily sought after. Zendaya, she's a cutie. I think Rebecca Ferguson is in it. I don't even remember. Stellan Skarsgård, I think, plays one of the Harkonnens. Yeah, that movie's gonna be sick. I'm hoping it's not pretentious the way that Blade Runner 2049 is. And I haven't seen, I don't watch my own videos very often, but I think I watched that one several times. I did a review for Blade Runner 2049, and I wasn't sure how to feel about it. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? Like 99% of the time, I know not 99, 95% of the time when I watch a movie, it's actually pretty spot on to how I feel later on. And it actually makes sense. Because I think I watched Get Out, and I liked it a lot. And then I revisited it, and my thoughts were pretty much the same. I really, really like it. In fact, I saw that movie might have ripened a little bit more, actually, because I saw even more stuff after, seeing like blogs and podcasts and interviews about it. But for the most part, I tend to get it fairly right as to what my feelings are going forward. Then again, there's all sorts of I can't talk. There's all sorts of things to take into consideration when you go to the movies. Also, like your theater experience, like if it sucks, because I think I saw the newest third Planet of the Apes movie. I think it was War for the Planet of the Apes, which made no sense because there was no war in that movie. There was a couple skirmishes at best, so they probably could have titled that a little differently. But I remember I saw that movie again, liked that movie a lot. But there was idiots running up and down the aisles because they were 10 minutes late and they couldn't find their seats, as if the seats don't have fucking numbers on them, you morons. Like, come on, use your eyes, or your phone light, whatever you had at the time. And that was annoying. Or anytime I go to, like, what did I see? I think I saw Lego Batman, and I did a review for that. That sucked because there's a bunch of, everybody's kid is, like, running around all over the place, and I get it. You need something to shut the kids up for a couple hours, but you know what? Get a frickin' babysitter. Actually, that's a kid's movie, so that's not fair. Yeah, I think that one just comes with the territory. I don't think there's any escaping that one, unfortunately. Seriously though, if you're one of those people that brings a baby to the theater, you can go piss up a rope because you suck. Because if you couldn't find a babysitter that night, guess what? You don't get to go to the movies. That's what happens when you have a kid. It's called being responsible and respectful of other people, which a lot of Americans seem to not want to do nowadays. I'm finding more and more. Let's see, what other stuff do we got? I'm still excited about Dune, by the way. I could talk about that for several hours, about how excited I am about that. But what I was saying before about Blade Runner 2049, that is one of the few movies where I didn't know what score to give it initially, and that was the right move, because I've shifted a little bit since then. Okay, I probably should have watched it before I talked about this, but I didn't know I was going to go at length about it. But basically, Blade Runner 2049 is an excellent, magnificent, exceptional film. It's an exceptionally well done film. It's well crafted. It's what's the word I'm looking for? The pacing was very, very intentional. It was very, very, very meticulously thought out and meticulously filmed movie. And it's a beautiful looking movie. The movie looks great. Even if you don't like it, if you take a still screen, if you take a still shot from any part of Blade Runner 2049, it's magnificent and it looks gorgeous. Period. The end. It's great. However, it is pretentious as fuck because the movie did not need to be that long. It's almost 2.5 hours, I think. It did not need to be that long. And they made a mistake putting Harrison Ford in the marketing, and they didn't market the film very well. You had no idea what the plot was. All you knew was that this is a Blade Runner movie and Harrison Ford's returning. That's literally all you know. They didn't say anything about Ryan Gosling's character or anything about that. And I was like, okay, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna go see it because it's Blade Runner, and I love the original Blade Runner. And I was lucky to watch the final cut of Blade Runner in theaters, which not many people have. And pardon me for a second while I take a drink of water. Okay, anyway, moving on. But yeah, that movie but Blade Runner, but 2049 was very pretentious in that they had a giant budget and they flaunted it very often because the character played by Jared Leto is blind in the movie, but there's one room that he walks into. I don't remember what part of the film it is, but I just remember the room was, it was a water room. The floor was water basically, but there was there was kind of wooden steps to get to the center of the room, and it was essentially an island in the middle of, it was just a water room with an island where you could sit and talk to somebody or something. And I'm just thinking, okay, Jared Leto's character is blind, okay? If he stubs his toe even slightly, splash, in he goes. Like, what the hell? That is the most impractical, shitty thing to make a room for a guy like that. Like, why would you do that? And I'm like, okay, you know what? It's because Villeneuve had a budget and he flexed it. That's all that was. So it was pretentious in that he flexed it, but it also looked amazing. And there's a slight workaround. You could explain why Jared Leto was able to walk through that, but I mean, it was just annoying. Like, stuff like that. And I'm just like, why does it have to be that awesome? Which is a stupid thing to complain about, but I couldn't help it. It was a little extra. The movie was just a little extra, and I wasn't a big fan of how extra it was, but I admire the effort and the craftsmanship, the craft that went into making that film. So I respect the movie, but it's more love than hate. Let's just put it that way. So, but either way, Denis Villeneuve is batting 1,000 at this point. He hasn't made a movie that I disliked. I haven't seen all of his movies, but I have no complaints, basically. Let's maybe talk about one more topic and then I'll call it a day. Henry Cavill would jump at a chance to play. Oh, Henry Cavill is talking about James Bond again, or they're talking about him playing James Bond. A lot of people don't know this. This has actually been in the works, or excuse me, I should say, he's been in the running to play James Bond for almost a decade. They've been looking at him for there I go again, looking at the monitor. They've been doing that for quite some time. I think pre-Daniel Craig, I think they were still looking at him. I think he was, I think he was in his early 20s at that point, I think. Yeah, something like that. But they've been looking at him for quite a while, and he would be a great fit. He would be a great fit for Bond. He's a little too jacked, I think. That was one, not complaint, but thing that I thought was a little odd about Daniel Craig's Bond is that he's like pretty ripped. If you watch Casino Royale and he's, all covered in water dripping off of his giant pecs in Casino Royale. God, that was just, that shot was just for the ladies for sure. But like he was like ripped, and James Bond has not been historically ripped. I mean, he's been like a handsome dude for sure, but like he was never that jacked. Like he's never been like bodybuilder size. So that's kind of like iffy. But he's also secret agent, so it wouldn't be crazy. So I don't know. But I think Henry Cavill would be a cool fit for that, personally. Let's see, what else do we got? Maybe I'll do one or two other things. M. Night Shyamalan's new movie gets a title, poster. I'll talk about Shyamalan for a second. I did not like Glass at all. I loved what he did with Split. I love what he did with the ending of Split. I love that, and I wish more movies would do that. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what? I think as far as putting your foot in the door, this isn't bad. It's been about 20, 25 minutes. I think this will be enough. So yeah, I mean that's it for me for now. If you're new to this channel, thank you and if you're still listening after all this time, I appreciate you. That's awesome. Thank you. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, do all that happy horse shit. I appreciate it. I can't guarantee that this will be in video form every single time. I can guarantee that it will be at the very least in audio form. I don't know when or how I'm going to put it on other platforms. I'm going to try and put it on not just the big ones. I'm going to try and put it on like, excuse me, I'm going to put it on like Podbay or Player.fm or any of the other ones that I can get my hands on. Again, I'm brand new to this. I would like to do this once a week or once every 2 weeks, but maybe I'll do it more than that. And if it brings in, and if I can put ads on this on YouTube, maybe I can do this more often. Maybe this means that I can do this full time. I doubt it because, you know, YouTube doesn't really pay you that much, but I'm also doing this for very, very cheap. So maybe it could work, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, if you guys have any tips, suggestions, ideas for what I could do with this, or other things that I could do on here, other places I could take it, or if you want to tell me to go piss up a rope and stop talking, that's also an option. You can say that. If you be honest, people. That's all I want is honesty. So that's it for now. Thanks for stopping in, and until then, I will catch you guys next time.